Hi Firewallers, the 28th of November 2015 is the 55th birthday of actor, director and writer Ed Harris. Harris's movie career started with the 1977 made-for-TV biopic The Amazing Howard Hughes. He has since gone on to star in some of the most iconic movies in Hollywood history, giving consistently fantastic performances, earning numerous award nominations in the process. Harris will feature in a couple of new upcoming TV series, The 1% and Westworld, along with Warren Beatty and James Franco projects set to be released next year. Here are the Firewall's top 10 Ed Harris movies. At number 10 is The Hours. This drama shows how the troubled lives of multiple women living in different eras are connected by Virginia Woolf's novel Mrs. Dalloway. Harris received BAFTA, Golden Globe and Academy Award nominations for Best Supporting Actor as Richard Brown, a poet who is suffering from AIDS. The running time is 114 minutes and The Hours has the Firewall rating of 7.3 out of 10. At number 9 is The Right Stuff. Based on Tom Wolfe's book of the same name,
He was a master at work. Welcome to WatchMojo UK, and today we'll be counting down our picks for the top 10 John Hurt scenes. Before we begin, we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. For this list, we'll be taking a look at the celebrated actor's greatest and most memorable film and TV moments. Number 10, Be Suspicious, Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy. In this adaptation of John le Carré's 1974 novel, Hurt plays Control, the head of British intelligence, who believes one of his top operatives is a Soviet agent.
There's a rotten apple, Jim. And we have to find it.
In this flashback, we see Control detail his theory to British agent Jim Prideaux, before Prideaux travels to Hungary for an ill-fated trip which sets off the events of the story. Balancing clear sadness with obvious trepidation, Hurt ticks off his list of suspects, giving ominous meaning to the movie's title by doing so.
And the fifth?
Smiley.
Number 9, The War Doctor's Farewell, Doctor Who. Playing a previously unknown incarnation of the Doctor, John Hurt's War Doctor is a warrior caught in the middle of the Time War. And having travelled alongside 10 and 11, his final scene in the 50th anniversary episode becomes a bittersweet farewell.
Well, gentlemen, it has been an honour and a privilege.
Reflecting on their efforts to save Gallifrey, the War Doctor realises that he won't remember how the plan unfolded, but he is content knowing that he did the right thing.
I have to live with that. But for now, for this moment, I am the Doctor again.
Not that he gets long to dwell on the matter. Mere moments Good cop, bad cop, vampire, punk rocker, quite the CV. Welcome to WatchMojo UK, and today we'll be counting down our picks for the top 10 Gary Oldman scenes. Before we begin, if you enjoy this video, be sure to subscribe for more great content. For this list, we'll be counting down the most memorable moments from the acting career of Gary Oldman, from the outright emotional to the downright intense. Number 10, Hands Up, State of Grace. In what is an incredibly bleak film about gangsters, Gary Oldman's Jackie Flannery supplies a few moments of comic relief, with this scene in particular being a hilarious highlight.
Check this out.
Showing Sean Penn's Terry Noonan his stashed decoy hands in the fridge, Flannery goes on to tell him how their fingerprints can be used to throw off the cops.
You take your hands and you take your gun, but you put the prints on the gun, you stash it. The cops find the gun. They're looking for a dead man.
But as he tries to explain himself, he can't help but crack up. Teasing Terry with the hands, they both end up in bits.
Oh, that's on his hand! You scared? Get the all right, hands up!
Number 9, The Oswald Interview, JFK. Oldman gets a fair bit of screen time in 1991's JFK, but we wanted to draw attention to this short interview snippet. Bombarded by journalists after being accused of assassinating Kennedy, Lee Harvey Oswald is questioned about his involvement. And Oldman's likeness to him is uncanny, with familiar facial expressions and speech patterns that prove the actor clearly did his homework.
I really don't know what this situation is about. Nobody has told me anything except that I'm accused of murdering a policeman.
And in 30 seconds or so, he totally sells us on the character. At a glance, you may be fooled into thinking it's archive footage of the man himself.
Seems pretty cool to me for a man under pressure like that.
A policeman hit me.
Number 8, Carla, Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy. This multi-award-winning espionage film isn't the smash-grab explosive spectacle you may expect, but its charm comes in its subtlety, with gripping moments littered throughout. One of which is Oldman's Carla speech as George Smiley.
I give him the usual pitch. Come to the West and we can give you a comfortable life. After questioning.
Playing out more like a touching theatrical monologue, Smiley relives an encounter with his nemesis, and the room seemingly disappears around him, with the camera fixed on his face and his thoughts.
We're not so very different, you and I. We've both spent our lives looking for the weaknesses in one another's systems. Don't you think it's time to recognize there is as little worth on your side as there is on mine?
A perfect example of exactly the right words delivered by exactly the right actor.
Never said a word.
Number 7, Product Demonstration, The Fifth Element. From serious to silly next, and Oldman's outing as Jean-Baptiste Emmanuel Zorg, a futuristic villain with bad hair and an inferiority complex.
What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Your time for revenge is at hand.
In this scene, he's showing off a new weapon of his own creation, ZF-1, a gun with more gadgets than a Swiss Army knife.
3,000 round clip with bursts of 3 to 300 with the replay button. Another Zorg invention, it's even easier.
And it's the charismatic way in which Oldman plays it, clearly getting off on the ingenuity of his own invention, rambling on like a dastardly version of Q from James Bond. You've got to love that flamethrower.
My favorite.
Number 6, A Shave, Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Take care how you cut yourself.
Floating around in classic vampire getup could easily come off as a little cheesy, but Oldman manages to instill terror rather than farce. Take this scene for example. Walking in on Keanu Reeves' Jonathan Harker whilst he's shaving, let's not talk about the accent, he instantly puts us all on edge, lurking behind him straight razor in hand. The uncomfortable closeness, subtle hand gestures and the slow melodic accents, together with atmospheric lighting, is enough to send a chill up anyone's spine.
Transylvania is not England. Our ways are not your ways.
Number 5, Apartment Raid, Leon the Professional. To one of Oldman's most sinister roles, and his part as corrupt, pill-popping DEA officer Norman Stansfield.
Did you like Beethoven? Couldn't really say. I'm gonna play this out.
Breezing into all of his scenes like a ticking time bomb, this raid on an apartment is by far the most destructive. Storming through, a room at a time, picking people off one by one, it's not just that he's killing people, it's that he's clearly enjoying it. And the weird thing is, we kind of love to hate him. There's only a handful of actors who can pull that off.
That's why I stopped.
Number 4, Domestic Life, Sid and Nancy.
Find it! My action man!
Although this 1986 film shows us key stages in the relationship between Sid Vicious and Nancy Spungen, it's the fly-on-the-wall moments that are most memorable.
I'll never look like Barbie. Barbie doesn't have bruises.
Thanks to the electric chemistry between Oldman and Chloe Webb, who play the tragic couple, watching them laugh, joke, bicker and moan at each other is intoxicating.
I was bored! I'm bored now! Where's the bloody song?
This scene in particular is a roller coaster of emotions, from jokes in the kitchen to physical violence in just a few seconds.
I thought it was yours.
Number 3, Reason with a Tiger, Darkest Hour.
Nothing inglorious in trying to shorten a war that we are clearly losing.
Losing! Europe is still...
Europe is lost.
Bringing to life wartime Prime Minister Winston Churchill, Oldman sports a fat suit and a stormy scowl as he dominates every second of screen time in this electric Oscar-nominated performance. But this scene in particular gets our vote. With Lord Halifax looking to surrender to German forces, Churchill's determination to persevere boils beneath the surface as he winces and fidgets in his chair until he can't hold back anymore. And it's all topped off with an angst-filled analogy.
You cannot reason with a tiger when your head is in its mouth!
Number 2, Drexel Negotiates, True Romance. Oldman's take on the pimp Drexel in this crime flick written by Tarantino is proof that he can be simultaneously hilarious and terrifying, and completely unrecognisable.
Who the f*** are you? I'm her husband.
When Christian Slater's Clarence ventures into Drexel's dingy crib and ultimately threatens him, the scar-faced kingpin stays cool as ever, casually finishing off his meal. But don't let the leopard print fool you, he is one seriously scary dude.
I know I'm pretty, but I ain't as pretty as a couple of titties.
And after he's done listening to what Clarence has got to say, he completely loses it. And we thought Dracula was frightening.
Helping hand.
Number 1, Suicide Attempt, Chattahoochee.
I ain't coming out.
The fact that this film is inside the TARDIS and he's regenerating into 9.
I hope the ears are a bit less conspicuous this time.
Number 8, Sutler's introduction, V for Vendetta. Following the destruction of the Old Bailey at the hands of V, the giant looming face of High Chancellor Adam.
You, Mr. Potter.
Not only does this scene give Harry a taste of charm to reassure Ronnie Boston after pursuing a rejection.
You might...
A homosexual dream of it. True love war on neck of celebration.
I'm 6.
Creativities and Dadry ruin dystopic future world. Winston Smith is taken to Room 101 for the high tension ending of this George Orwell adaptation.
The thing that is in Room 101 is the worst thing in the world.
A torture chamber individually designed with the victim's worst fear in mind, Winston's phobia of rats is realised when he has a cage of the ravenous rodents strapped to his face.
In your case, it is rats.
Ultimately, the punishment finally breaks his spirit, and Winston's re-education is complete for the story's dark and depressing finale. Hert's cries and whimpers truly highlight the horror of Winston's situation. The eponymous was shot John Hurt in the Elephant Man John Merrick. He's unmasked at a London train station by cruel commuters who are shocked by his deformities. Chased by the mob until he's cornered in the toilets, John Hurt roars Merrick's immortal line.
I am not an animal! I am a human being!
A short outburst stacked with emotion, it gives an instant insight into Merrick's tragic position as someone whose only wish is to be treated with dignity and respect. Number 1, the chestburster, Alien. Could we ever have ended on anything else? In Ridley Scott's sci-fi horror masterpiece, John Hurt's Kane is central to one of cinema's scariest and most gruesome scenes.
The first thing that I'm going to do when I get back is to get some decent food.
Having previously been attacked by an alien egg parasite, Kane's apparent good health doesn't last long, as Hurt's character starts to choke before writhing on the table in agony.
The food ain't that bad, baby.
A sudden spurt of blood signals the iconic arrival of the titular monster, before it drives itself out of Kane's chest in fantastically gory fashion. It's all eyes on the alien, but Hurt brings breathtaking tension for an unforgettable movie moment. Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from Watch.
The Right Stuff tells the story of the astronauts selected to be part of Project Mercury, the United States' first manned spaceflight. Harris plays John Glenn, one of the men selected to be part of the Mercury 7. The running time is 193 minutes, and The Right Stuff has the Firewall rating of 7.4. At number 8 is The History of Violence. Adapted from a 1997 graphic novel, when Tom Stall, a small-town restaurant owner, prevents a robbery and kills the perpetrators, he becomes a hero and a local celebrity. But his actions attract the attention of the unsavory Carl Fogarty, played by Harris, who says that Stall is and The Rock has hanging in the border with a political situation that occurs. Ed Harris in control. At one point, Ed and Gary Glenn, competitive working there, are willing to go. Harris plays another way. When Nash is feeling dissatisfied, William Parcher, played by Harris, who says that he is from the US Department of Defense, shows up to give Nash a new and exciting assignment.